Hey folks, Jim from Slick Cyber Systems. I'm here with Chris and Steve, and we're going to talk today about understanding current cybersecurity threat landscape for SMBs. Guys, an overview of prevalent threats, right, that are targeting small to medium business. And the stuff, medium business, I think, and I'm kind of saying this up front, I think medium business for the most part has their most of their game in check. It's the small business that I am always concerned about more than I am the medium, because the medium's already taking action to this. Some of the small businesses are, but I'll bet you a lot of them are not. So when you start to think about it, what are we really dealing with here?
There's several really important ones that should be at the top of everybody's mind, and at this point in 2025, it should not be the surprise, at minimum, ransomware and phishing.
Ooh. Yeah, they're huge. Ransomware, my goodness. I mean, that's always, again, we've done videos. You guys can look at some of our videos in the past on this, but ransomware in general, everybody is aware of the term ransomware, but they're not, I don't think they're as, the smaller businesses are as concerned. They think that they are not vulnerable. They think they're too small. Well, nobody wants my stuff. I got news for you. They do, and it's because it's easy pickings. Mm-hmm. That's why they're doing it. And there's obviously, if you think about it, like AI-driven attacks. I mean, the AI-driven attacks alone. I mean, the person doesn't have to sit there and actually drill this. I mean, AI. They program the platform to do it, and the platform just goes at it. There's no human doing it.
If you have a telephone number, a website, social media, right, and you own a business, they already know who you are. There's a list. You're on multiple lists already. Right. So your advertising efforts are just enough for them to use that alone to target you.
And phishing, I mean, I put phishing pretty much hand in hand with ransomware, because ransomware, most of the cases have ever come in have been through phishing. Now, there have been some true attacks, but most of it is phishing related or of some phishing of some sort. Yep. Guys, what about insider threats?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, insider threats meaning someone inside your business.
It could be just a silly mistake that they made, a genuine mistake, not necessarily
not malicious.
Or doing something purposely bad.
Yeah. I mean, the only way phishing and ransomware happens is if one of your employees clicks on something that's not supposed to.
Well, in a phishing attack.
So your insider threat is your number one threat.
Your insider threat is fix is training. Yep. You've got to train the human.
Well, you got to train, and you got to have a policy in place.
Yes, you do.
Because you can have all the training you want, if you don't hold them accountable for it, it'll just happen.
It could very well continue to happen, because they're not forced to do it. To corporate policy.
Well, why do they always go after these small businesses?
Well, think about it.
Because it's perception that they're weak. Because they usually are.
And they usually are.
They don't want to put any budget towards securing.
Is what I said in the very beginning.
And guess who loses in that? We do, because we're the customers, and that's our data that gets.
Right. Yeah. So you have mom and pop shop you go to every day, and it could be a pet store or something like that. And you're laying your credit card down, you're doing all kinds of stuff. They get attacked, and they your information gets stolen with that. It's not just theirs.
A ton.
And it's
too much.
It's starting. Their insurance companies, if you take a loan out, they're going to start requiring you to have these in place.
Correct.
If you don't, you're going to be fined and you're going to be out of business. Yeah. Either way you look at it. So.
Bottom line is you have to do it. And there's something else we didn't even talk about, zero day.
That's Steve's favorite topic.
What, zero day?
Zero day. Loves talking about zero day.
Zero day exploits. I mean, zero day exploits is the number one vector for to get into the machine. Somebody comes up with an exploit that the antivirus signatures aren't caught up yet, and then all of a sudden, bang! They find the vulnerability, they crack in or break in that way, and now it's like, hey, here's a field day. Let's go at it. It's a treasure trove of information for them to be able to garnish, steal.
You look at your cell phone. There's a reason why Apple and Androids have a monthly patch to cover up some of these
vulnerabilities.
And a lot of people don't even think about that.
True, but
And how easy is it just for them to go right on your phone? You don't even know it. They can do it in the background.
right. But the 0 day, Steve, even takes it to another level. I mean, if you think about it, the 0 day is really there are no patches yet for it, right?
Yeah.
So those unlucky few folks, the companies that get nailed with the 0 day, I mean, the patching is for the post 0 day. When you do know about it and a patch has been made for it, that's when you want it on. Then you're not vulnerable. Somebody's always going to be infected, by something in a 0 day exploit.
You can try and do this yourself, but
good luck.
That's not your job. If that was your full-time job and knowing what mitigation to do,
right,
and reading all these threat reports,
and their job is their job, right? Again, the pet store. I mean, their job is to make sure they have proper inventory. You know what I mean? And they deal with what they did. It's their business. So if you don't have the knowledge / resources, you really need to have a solid MSP, an IT provider behind you that's at least doing this for you or helping you with this and keeping a centralized IT management.
If someone does, let's just say, they believe all the other stuff. They play devil's advocate. They're worried about ransomware. They put things of protection in place. They're worried about phishing. They really train their staff. They watch what they click on. They're judicious on that end of it. So what do we say then for the 0 day? What's the net takeaway from, how do I protect myself?
The only way you can protect yourself is to have every device, whether it be a BYOD device, bring your own device, a cell phone, the Internet of Things stuff, laptops, servers, point of sale systems, they need to be fully patched and have threat protection on it, like your EDRs and your managed SOC and AV and that kind of stuff. So at least there's some protection there. Is it going to necessarily stop a 0 day? No, but at least you've done your best. So if they do make it in, the damage that they inflict is way on the lesser side than it is, hey, here's my whole network. So it's 0 days are tough. They're really tough. It's one of the most difficult things in IT that we deal with is 0 day.
You can minimize it.
Again, yeah, you do your best to mitigate, the issues, and that's about as far as that goes. I mean, so I guess to wrap this up, understand that just because you're a small business, you are not ignored. You are actually more targeted in 2025 and beyond than you've ever been, and it's just going to get worse. So just because of that whole thing that we said earlier, that you probably don't have the proper infrastructure, in place and software and tools.
Not to mention that, it is not just like one person sitting in their bedroom. It's gangs, or criminal gangs of thieves that have very high-end tools.
Very high-end tools.
The time, the ability, they're using AI to target you, and you don't even know it's happening.
Right.
Until it's happened.
And then it's too late.
Yep.
You have no recourse either because they're in other countries.
Well, and that's another problem, right? But anywho, we're going to wrap this video up. And guys, any other comments on it?
No, I think that's
yeah, I think we've beaten it to death enough. So if you have any questions, give us a call, 570-215-8888, 8888. And, of course, slickcybersystems.com, the web. We have chat, we have, phone, email, everything you need to get a hold of us. So give us a shout. We could definitely, talk to you. We could help you out. If you have questions, we can definitely answer them and point you in the right direction. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. If you find this content helpful, please like the video, subscribe, and share with your friends and your colleagues. Thank you.